What's happening, fam? L.A.R movement still moving. And I will promote every chance I get now. Wrote a book for non-custodial fathers. Link will be in the description box below. Let's get into the subject. Do bad boys equal great sex? Well, this topic comes up. Saw a few memes on Power when Greg had the weak stroke. Had a, Angela was just like, oh my God, why? But also on Facebook, a friend of mine posted that, she missed the days when she was dating a drug dealer. It was like a drug dealer meme. Go shopping. She cries for a purse. He buys the purse. She's in love because he bought the purse. And then she giving up the ass. And she was like, oh, I miss those days. I'm like, okay. Another conversation. Well, how can I say this? With past revelations, well, people regret that idea. When people have a conversation where people regretted the idea that maybe the bad boy wasn't the best guy, even sexually. Okay? So, this is where we're going. First and foremost, I think there's a certain dominance part of the conversation where some women just like to be dominated. Some women just, they like to be, they like for the guy to take control. They like for the guy to hike up their dress and rip off their panties, or, they like to be spanked. They like their hair pulled. They like to know that he's gonna come with his A game. He's gonna come in the bedroom, that type of shit. And this, the stereotype is the bad boy gonna come in there, swinging a sword like Conan. And Mr. Nice Guy, Mr. Right, So that's the stereotype. So when they really want to get good sex, they follow the stereotype. Now, part of the stereotype kind of messed up is, how can I put this? It could be, it's a half truth and it's a half lies, because your persona has nothing to do with your sex game. See, because when girls like bad boys, they don't say bad. They just say bad boys have great sex. They don't say the bad boy have like the biggest dick, or is the best in giving head, or the best in menage a trois. They just, they don't have all these stipulations around it. It's just, see, bad boy can have a little ass dick, but he's a bad boy. Something, and that's what I'm getting at. It's mental. Because a lot of times I've noticed over the years that girls are in it mentally with the bad guy, because it's a part of it's a part of forbidden fruit. The part I'm not supposed to be doing is, it's a turn on, because I'm not supposed to be fucking with this guy. Same thing like when women fuck with guys who are in relationships or married. They're extra turned on by the, or they could be with a guy and it's revenge sex with another guy. Like, they're turned on by the fact that they ain't supposed to be doing it, or doing it with this particular person. Which, on the flip side of that, when they're dealing with Mr. Right or Mr. Nice Guy, then it's the complete opposite. I'm not supposed to be doing this with you for real. It's not a turn on, then it's just turned off. Like, I'm not supposed to. No, this is not the right time. This is not the right place. No, you can't. No, I don't feel right. Am I going to go to hell for having sex with you? So it's always an excuse, because mentally they're in it with one and mentally they're out of it with another. Doesn't mean the sex is better. in a perspective, perception, because yeah, it's gonna be better if you want to do it with this particular person, and it's gonna be worse if you don't want to do it with this particular person. You know. On top of that, you know, there's a certain recklessness and free spirited nature of quote unquote the bad boy, because he don't really give a shit for the most part if y'all use protection or not. He don't really give a shit if he nut up in you or not, and you know, because the same bad boys that y'all like, oh, let's do it like it was supposed to be done natural. This how it's supposed to go. Those are the same guys you complain about, you know, they don't take care of their responsibilities, and they pussy ass dudes and fuck boys, but it's like, but it was a turn on when he was fucking you. I mean, you knew what this was about, which is why, you know, you have the people who don't know who a child's father is, because you already know the bad guy might not be there if he gets you pregnant. You didn't care that y'all didn't care. You didn't care how that y'all had raw sex. You didn't care that he came in here because at the time you were turned on. And as with further thought, you're like, oh, this mother. Now I gotta fuck this nice guy, because now I gotta trick him into saying, you know, I'm on the pill and I'm safe, and it's not like that. So, because if I get pregnant, I need an option, because this dude is not gonna do it. So, I mean, people are hip to that game. Past that, you got the situations where the lifestyle is exciting. See, some women like to be in an atmosphere where they think they can be in danger. Like, I remember having a coworker who was turned on by the motorcycle guys. She was ready to ride, and it was all good. She loved the lifestyle until she fell off the bike. Wasn't the same then. But it was like, I'm not feeling that shit no more. Why? Because, you know, a lot of y'all ain't fell off a bike before. That shit ain't cool. And, you know, and it did something to her figure, because she got the not figure, but of course she got the burns from sliding across the concrete, and then she didn't feel as sexy as she once was, because it was a turn on until the shit hit the fan, which happens a lot of times. You know, I want to be a drug dealer until your ass get shot at, until the police come kicking in. It's turn on until then. You know, I want to be with the guy who just walks around starting trouble. I feel protected with the guy that walks around starting trouble till he get a bottle cracked over his head, and you see his ass get knocked out, and it's like, oh, I ain't feeling him no more. But it was a turn on until then. So is the sex better? Well, when women get older, I've noticed that that's one of the things that, like, they realize there's a difference between perception and reality, and you can't, and most don't want to admit because of pride that they've been living in this perception for so many years and following along with it, that when they finally come to the realities of life, that's like, you mean this nice guy was better in bed than this bad boy that I was chasing around, but this nice guy even treats me better than this bad boy, but what the fuck was I thinking? And people do that to the point where they sabotage themselves. And you don't want to say, I was just turned on by dysfunction. And I thought dysfunction was sexy because in my mind, I'm dysfunctional. And that's why I buck, you know, that's why I sabotage stable things that are functional, because I don't think I can handle it. You know, and I've seen that with plenty of women over the years. But it's a real big shot to the ego, because you find yourself at a space where when women are looking for a man and they come to find out that some of the guys that they've never given a chance to were the guys that were the best. And the guys that they gave they gave all of their best to were the worst. So, just my thoughts on it. Peace.